How's everybody doing today? My name is Matt Alexander, and I am actually going to be bringing a speech about myself. But to really start this off, the truth is that we've heard it time and time again, that a picture is worth 1,000 words. But to me, this picture right here actually represents a lot more than just that. This is my family, and if I'm going to talk about myself, I can't do that without starting to talk about them. First off, we have my wife here. This is my wife, Kelly. We've been married for almost 12 years now. She is my wife, but not only that, she's my best friend, my teammate, and the mother of my children. Next up is my 11-year-old son, Jaden. He's actually the first person that I've ever loved before I even saw what he looked like. And that was a fun day, the day that he was born. Next up is my little diva, McKenna Joy. She is my 7-year-old who's going on 26. And so she brings a lot of joy to our life, but also a lot of sassiness, and that's who she is. Next up, and finally, is our little knucklehead, Madden Rodney. He is my, like I said, my knucklehead, but he's more than that. He is my emotional slash comedian slash daredevil. He is the reason why I probably won't live to anything past 50. That's him. But this is my family, and to know where I've come from, you gotta know them first and how I got here today. Now, for me, I'm a child of the 80s. I was born in 1982 to my parents. My parents actually met at a church service, had me, and then were married a couple months later. I am the second in my dad's line and the first in my mom. So a lot of my life I was never the oldest, but then I was the oldest. So I have an older brother from my dad's previous marriage. He's 2 years older than me. Then I have a brother who is 2 years younger than me from my mom and my dad, and then a sister who's 2 years younger than that. So it was pretty quick that we came together as a family. About the age of 13, my parents divorced. I was at this time really understanding that, you know, if there was a God, He doesn't love me and He doesn't love my family, because how can we let something like this happen? So for me, that's kind of the time where I backed away from God. In that time, I really acted out, and my mom actually asked me to leave her home and go live with my dad, to where my father and I moved from Yakima, Washington to Linden, Washington. And there is where I spent a lot of the prime years of my life, living a life in high school and being a high school athlete. I was really taken to football, and from that had a lot of offers to play football at a collegiate level. But because of a girlfriend and bad grades, that never happened. The girlfriend and I that I did have actually broke up, and it was at that point where I realized that my life was not worth living anymore. And so I actually contemplated suicide. But it was until that time that it took for me to realize how much Jesus loved me. And from there, I actually made my way back from Linden to Yakima and ran into a friend who invited me to church. That friend who invited me to church actually brought me to the Lord. And that day was the best day of my life. I gave my life to Jesus, and a couple services in, my eyes caught that beautiful lady right there. And wouldn't you know it, I tricked her into marrying me. And I got down on one knee and proposed, and she said yes, and I still don't know why, but she did. And so we've been married again, like I said, for going on 12 years now. But with that, you know, we bought a house together. We've been called into ministry together. It is there where I was first called into ministry, that I got a job at a smaller church in Yakima, Washington. And then God actually called us to the home church, the church where I was saved, the church where my wife was born, to be the children's pastors there, which is where we serve currently. We serve as the children's pastor, with my role increasing in many different ways. But that is really, truthfully, who I am, where I've come from, and the truth is, like I said, you know, that's about 900 words. So I've hit about 900 words right there. But can I tell you this? To know where I've been and to know how I've gotten here, truthfully, all starts by looking at this picture. And like I said, this picture is well worth over 1,000 words. Thank you. Boom.